Hey there, it's Wisconsin Wine Guy, and we are back with another wine review. And for those who are new, I like to call these everyday drinking wines. These are wines that you can find where you shop, liquor store, grocery store, and some wine shops. I give these wines a taste and give you my opinion utilizing the infamous thumb rating system. Thumbs up says. I recommend that wine. It's a good value wine. You can't go wrong with it. Great for everyday drinking. 3/4. You know, it didn't make the thumbs up, but if it was at a party, I would drink it. If I was having a party, it was being budget friendly, I would pour that for my guests. Halfway, well, something about that wine didn't work for my palate. Doesn't make it a bad wine, but you give it a taste and then let me and the rest of us know what you think. Thumbs down, always an easy one, right? And every now and then is the infamous double thumbs up. Double thumbs up says, you know what, that wine is exceptional. Exceptional value, exceptional taste, exceptional quality. In fact, it may be a wine that you can age. So get yourself a few bottles and sit on it and open one every 3 years, every 5 years, and see what you think. But I'm also curious to know if you thought it was worthy of a double thumbs up. So taste it, let me know. So now, today, we are going to be doing Gnarly Head. I mean, who doesn't know Gnarly Head wines? I mean, the label has been consistent. I think they changed the label a couple of times over the years, but I kind of like this label. It really stands out, and you get an idea of what they mean by Gnarly Head, because that image on the bottle is a picture of an old vine or for Zinfandel. So this is coming out of Lodi. This is 2022, and they pride themselves on sourcing their grapes from different vineyards in California, the Lodi area. They were from vineyards, or I should say from vines, Zinfandel vines that are between 35, 80 years old. So let's get into it. So this is coming in at, what we got here? 14% or 14.5% alcohol, aged in both French and American oak. And as I said, it is sourced from vineyards in Lodi that, as it says, vines are 35 to 80 years old. So vines, Zinfandel vines in California has been around for a long time. In fact, I think about there was an area in Southern Cal going towards like Oxnard, Rancho Cucamonga area. I remember when I was in my tweens, or in my 20s and driving through there, you saw all these old vines out there. That time I wasn't really into wine, but it was all these old vines. I probably was coming into my 20s then, because I was driving at 16. But there were all these vines, and there's all these old vines that are sitting out there, and I wish I would have been into wine then and went and got some cuttings or something, or maybe uprooted some of those and planted them somewhere. But I didn't, and I wonder, it's been years since I've been to California in that area, but I kind of doubt if those vines are still there, because a lot of development has taken place. They probably pulled those vines up for commercial and residential. What a shame. But that was then, and we're talking probably in the early 80s. Early 80s, when I saw that. So, but today we're doing Gnarly Head. Ooh, I can smell that from here. Woo, baby. It also goes through secondary fermentation, just to round off some of those rough edges. But when we taste, we're tasting for acidity, we taste it for complexity, we taste it for smoothness. Is this going to be a good everyday drinking wine? Well, we're about to find out. 80s Corker, keeping it fresh. Let's get the nose. Ooh, wow. Definitely has that Zinfandel nose. Now, me and Zinfandel, going back in time drinking, when I was into Zinfandels a lot more. It's funny how wines change over time and different brands will produce a particular grape differently. What I recall the time at Zinfandel's 15, 16% alcohol, but very jammy, very dense, or the Zinfandels I recall. But over time, kind of like melted out. You still get, some of those characteristics, dark berry fruit. You get the peppery spice to it, but not so much as jammy. I guess it depends on the maker. But we're going to give this one a try and see where it's at. Retail, I should say not retail, but you can find this priced at between $9.99 and $10.99. No, $6.99 on sale, $10.99 regular price. Here we go. So nose again, cedar. Ooh, we get a little pepper, plum. And get some cherry in there too. All right, here we go. Acidity, two-step. Remember, acidity, no play if there's no acidity. and then we taste in a second. Wow, great acidity. Okay, doesn't skimp on that. Tannins are there. It's like medium tannins. And then let's get into the taste. Okay. Now it does have that subtle jammy taste to it, but very subtle. That cedar woody taste comes through. You know, maybe bringing out more of the tannins. I could definitely see this as a food wine. But if you like that particular style, you would enjoy that. It seemed to run kind of hot, and that's where that food's going to come in and kind of tame down some of that alcohol. But you know, there's a lot of things going on here. So it's definitely bold, for sure. I like the mid-palated fruit, juicy fruit. Okay, so let's get into it. Does have tannins, does have wood. I think it'd be great for food. You know, some barbecue. If the barbecue sauce isn't sweet, you know, but more just flavorful and spice, I think would be nice. Burgers off the grill. Hey, how about some grilled vegetables? You know, like asparagus, peppers, you know, roasted tomatoes. I think that'd be nice with this too. But let's get into it. So your 2022 Old Vine Zinfandel from Lodi, from Gnarly Head for the gnarled up vine, Zinfandel vine. Wisconsin Wine is going to give this a 3/4. Okay, I think for Zinfandel at this entry level type price, I think it's a good everyday drinker. Definitely be a good food wine. I would say this: there is that taste of cedar wood, you know, which makes it a little slight astringent, but I think that it'd be taken care of with food. But it's definitely going to be one that you're going to want to have with food for sure. So 3/4, the Gnarly Head Zinfandel. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Okay? Look forward to hearing what you think about this. And if you're a fan of the Gnarly Head Zinfandel, it is your Wisconsin Wine Guy saying, as always, let your palate be the guide in selecting your wine. And I'll see you next time. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get a little bit of wine. Ciao.